Very good morning. You're tuned into News 9. This is World Business Report. I'm Karthik Malhotra. Over the next 20 minutes or so, a short list of about 10 to 12 stories that you need to know that have happened in the world of business, finance, policy, economy from around the world. Let's get straight into the first story we are tracking this morning. The Wall Street witnessed a mixed performance as the S&P 500 and Nasdaq managed to barely extend their winning streaks, while the Dow Jones experienced a slight dip. What are the dynamics that played out in the market and the factors influencing these movements? Here's a Reuters report that tells you everything you need to know about how US markets performed yesterday.
The S&P 500 and Nasdaq eked out small gains on Wednesday to extend their recent winning streaks as investors weighed Federal Reserve officials' recent comments for signals on interest rates. The Dow, however, shed roughly 0.1%, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq each added about that much. Treasury yields have retreated sharply since the benchmark 10-year Treasury note topped 5% in late October, as comments from Fed officials and softer labor data led to growing expectations the central bank had reached the end of its rate hiking cycle. That has fueled a rally for the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, but Anna Rathbun, chief investment officer at CBIZ Investment Advisory Services, says the stock market gains could, ironically, prompt the Fed to raise rates again.
The problem is that when yields fall and markets go up because everyone is happy that the Fed may be done raising rates, that actually loosens liquidity conditions. Yields fall and stocks go up, it means the liquidity is getting much better. That is the very opposite of what the Fed is trying to achieve, which is to tighten liquidity conditions. So actually, these market rejoicings actually increase the chance that the Fed will raise rates in December. So that is how this is a catch-22. In some ways, we have to tell the markets, don't react that way. Then the Fed can accomplish what they're trying to achieve.
In earnings news, shares of Warner Brothers Discovery plunged 19% after the media and entertainment conglomerate said Hollywood strikes and a weak advertising market could hurt 2024 earnings, weighing on peer Paramount Global, which fell almost 8%. Shares of Take-Two Interactive Software jumped more than 5% after the company said it would release a trailer early next month for the latest installment in its best-selling Grand Theft Auto video game franchise. And electric vehicle maker Lucid Group stumbled more than 8% after trimming its production forecast.
All right. Falling yields and the stock market's reaction not making the job of US Fed any easier, but some hope for the US Fed out there. CEO of Bank of America has provided a positive perspective on the present state of the US economy, indicating that finally it appears to be headed for a soft landing. This assertion holds significant implications for a wide range of stakeholders. And this goes from investors and businesses to, of course, the average American consumer. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Our research team is the best in the business, and they've moved to the soft landing category, and they have to slow down the economy in the middle of next year. And the question is if you look at our consumer base, what you're really seeing through the end of the month in October and now is a precipitous slowdown in the consumer spending going on by our consumers. And I think that leads to the Fed holding rates here. We have one more rate increase, whether that happens or not, and then starting to bring them down second half.
All right, from Bank of America, let's move to electric vehicle manufacturer Rivian. Rivian is ramping up its production targets in response to a surge in demand for electric vehicles. Now, of course, this surge is not just restricted to the US. Even India is seeing a massive surge. And next week, Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is meeting Tesla chief Elon Musk. But coming back to Rivian, what are the factors behind the strategic move and what it means for the rapidly evolving electric vehicle industry? Let's take a look at this.
Rivian on Tuesday raised its production forecast for the year by 2,000 vehicles. This target, now at 54,000 units, comes on the back of sustained demand for its trucks and SUVs. Rivian's upbeat forecast is a small win for the electric vehicle industry, which is reeling from two key issues this year. Higher inflation has hurt buyer appetite, and price cuts at market leader Tesla to stimulate demand. Last month, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said he was concerned about the impact of higher interest rates on car buyers. While smaller rival Lucid cut its production forecast on Tuesday, sending its shares down 4%. It now expects to produce up to 8,500 vehicles this year, down from an earlier projection of over 10,000. Rivian's chief executive told Reuters he was surprised at how much others have pulled back, and he's concerned it could create a vacuum of products in the EV market. Some analysts said that after sustained supply chain problems for Rivian, the EV maker may be starting to turn a corner after showing what one market watcher called resilience. To avoid slashing prices, it has taken elements of production in-house to reduce dependency on suppliers and slash costs. The automaker's higher-priced SUV sales have outpaced its lower-priced pickup truck, the R1T, boosting the average selling price of its vehicles. Rivian also announced plans to end its exclusivity deal to Amazon for its electric delivery van, opening the door for more customers around the world. The carmaker's Q3 revenue of just over $1.3 billion was in line with estimates, while its quarterly loss narrowed from a year earlier.
All right, from the world of electric mobility to the world of consumer shopping, and let's move this from the US to the UK. UK retailer Marks & Spencer has reported a boost in profits, yet the company remains cautious for its outlook for 2024. If this Reuters report, is to be believed, let's get some more details about the financial performance of Marks & Spencer and the factors influencing its measured optimism, if we can call it that, for the future.
Shares in Marks & Spencer, among Britain's best-known retailers, flew up over a tenth on Wednesday. Investors saw a much better than expected 75% rise in first-half profit and a return of their dividend. The firm reported $441.7 million in profit for the 6 months to September 30th, far higher than analysts projected. Revenue rose just over a tenth to $7.5 billion, with both food sales and clothing and home sales seeing big boosts. M&S said its trading momentum had been maintained through October and it was planning for a good Christmas. It sees full-year profit jumping 30%, and now expects analyst forecasts for annual profit to rise to $785 million, well up from $704.1 million currently. But the retail giant also delivered a cautious outlook, suggesting the quote, favourable recent market conditions might not persist. It warned high borrowing costs, erratic weather and geopolitical events could soon weigh on shoppers. M&S said it expected profit before tax and adjusting items to be weighted towards the first half.
All right, so it's something that we in India are fairly used to, but this news coming from Australia doesn't keep the world very excited, especially those who live in Australia. Well, Australia has faced widespread disruption as a network outage disrupted daily life across the country. What's the extent of this disruption really, and its impact on, well, not just life but various sectors, and the ongoing efforts to restore normalcy in the region? All these and more in this report.
Well, I can work, just that I can't get into the office because my office has a specific app which I need to download and use Bluetooth for, and because I can't open the app, I'm unable to get actually into the office today, so that's even more annoying.
Pretty bad. I was running late for work. I couldn't let my boss know that I was running late, and when I got to site I couldn't find my boss, so it's been a big day.
I'm looking for a bank, and when you can't go onto your Chrome or Google, pretty much you're lost.
Pretty much lost without Google, and I think anybody would be lost without internet, given the connectivity and the dependence of every individual on having a seamless internet connection. But you need the internet for something else also, and that is to stream movies. So in the world of entertainment, a new Hunger Games movie is set to captivate audiences as it reveals the origin of the iconic dystopian games. Join us as we delve into the highly anticipated prequel, uncovering the untold story behind this riveting cinematic experience.
It's the origins of a lot of things. The origins of the games, from how rudimentary they are to opening the landscape, the origins of people like Lucky Flickerman turning into Caesar Flickerman, as well as I think this movie offers new revelations into characters, right?
We're live! Smile. It's why we have teeth.
Imagine it was your name that they pulled. I just want to know that somebody still cared about me, that I was still of value.
Welcome to the Capitol.
You look like you shouldn't be here.
And we're excited to tell, an origin story of the villain, but I think what we had to do was we had to figure out a way to get an audience emotionally invested in him, to be behind him, to be rooting for him, to empathize with him. And that was the key in the adaptation process and the casting of Tom and Tom's performance. It was really important.
Let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
Well, powerful storyline, powerful visuals coming there, but let's stay with the power of powerful visuals and powerful storytelling. 007, yes. Let's introduce you now to some of the dynamic competitors from the thrilling new 007, not the movie, but the adventure show. A sneak peek into the exciting world of espionage, intrigue and action, featuring these remarkable individuals who are set to take you, of course, as always, on an unforgettable journey.
£1 million, man. What wouldn't you do?
I put real people into a James Bond adventure and placed 10 questions around the world.
You're doing these mad experiences with your brother. You can't tell anyone. Even if we tried to tell someone about it,
we
wouldn't have been able to put into words the stuff that we did. So better off just watching it.
Is that phone ringing? Hello?
Hello.
Your next question is 2,000 miles away.
Oh my God.
For £25,000. Climate.
We had to be kept in the dark as much as possible. So we didn't know where we were going. We might know if we were going to a hot country or a cold country, but that was it. So it was to make it as difficult as possible for us.
So for me, I'm emergency medicine for many years, and I've worked internationally in ERs and EDs around the world. I've been on expedition, I've worked in remote, inhospitable environments, and so I've found that really helped me in relation to preparing for the unexpected. It didn't frighten me as much.
All right, so an adventure show there in the making, and from there let's move to a real-life adventure, or a challenge if we can call it, and a heartwarming initiative. The Construction Challenge is making a significant impact by helping to feed New Yorkers in need. This is a unique event that combines creativity and charity, demonstrating how innovative thinking can bring positive change to our communities. More on this in this report.
Construction teams of architects and engineers and students that they mentor design and build these giant structures out of full cans of food. You see the best original design behind me. And they're juried for 6 different awards. And after the exhibit's over, we donate all the food to City Harvest.
Well, creativity has no bounds there. Construction, the construction using cans challenge happening in the city of New York. But let's stay with the US, and in a remarkable tribute, Legendary actor and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is being honored by the Los Angeles Holocaust Museum. More in this report.
I got a lot of awards for my body. Mr. Universe, Mr. World, Mr. Olympia, and all those things. This is an award for my heart. So it's great. It's a great change. I thought it is important to go out and to let people know that the next generation doesn't have to be the same. That the next generation can change. Hatred will never ever win. Love and the end always wins. Thank you very much for this wonderful award. Thank you.
All right, congratulations to Arnold Schwarzenegger there. And let's stay with the world of art. Ever wondered how art can impact your brain as well as your emotions? Well, an art gallery in London has introduced something called an electroencephalogram headset that allows visitors to see not art but their own brain activity in real time, as they also admire some art masterpieces. It hopes to showcase the likely positive impact engaging with art can have on people's emotions. Well, we live in the age of artificial intelligence, and here we are talking about the real neural networks in your mind and their reaction when it looks at a piece of art. Take a look at this report.
So walking around, I've just been taking it in just like normal, and then seeing what it actually looks like on the screen is amazing. Really, really, really good.
I think we all know that there's something that happens when we look at something that is beautiful or something that's intriguing, but what this is showing is the pattern of your brain waves when you see something that intrigues or inspires or creates an emotion.
If you find beauty in a piece of art, that engages the part of your brain toward the front there, and that part coincides with regions that are usually targeted in sort of clinical treatments for things like depression, and it's also a seat of other signals for reward and pleasure and the concept of the self. So lots of things are happening in that area, and it's, I think, fascinating that engaging with art also engages that same area.
All right, the mind engaging with art, and you're able to see your own mind real time. Well, it takes it to an all new level. But let's stay with art and entertainment. Filmmakers are gearing up for the Marvels, and they're not holding back on promises of surprising twists. What's in store for Marvel fans? Well, this report tells you everything you need to know before you book your tickets for the Marvels.
She's entangled our light-based powers, so we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala... Who's Kamala? Hi.
The overarching sort of plan, the galaxy braining that Kevin Feige does, I don't even know. You know, like the way they've created this universe and built it up to what it is now, and the way they're envisioning it for the future, I only know like a small part of that based like through my my working on this film, but it definitely felt like this, like a nexus point. I understand why they haven't shown the whole thing, because there's just so much in there, and by the time you get to the end of the film, you have a really pretty clear idea about where the MCU is going, which is really exciting. So that's, I think, a big reason why we're going to do the first 25 minutes, keep it cute until, it goes to the release.
It borrows from the DNA from the comics, crossovers, team-ups, unexpected team-ups. Of course, what we know from the trailers is that time and space itself is in peril in this film, and so the universe will definitely be a bit different after this adventure.
Well, it's going to be different twists and turns, but who would have thought that there would be a twist in the tale for Egypt's flourishing tourism economy? Well, in an effort to revive its tourism industry, Egypt is making strategic moves in the midst of the ongoing Gaza conflict. How is Egypt really navigating the challenge of a war zone right next door and taking steps to boost its tourism sector? And what are these measures and the potential impact on Egypt's economy? Let's take a look at this report.
Egypt has begun offering incentives to help support its tourism industry in the southern Sinai on the Red Sea. Speaking on Monday, Egypt's tourism minister Ahmed Issa said the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza had begun to affect the sector.
So far the impact is on the customers who have bought the regional products, because the tourism sector in Israel is actually practically shut down. So this is where we're seeing the most significant impact. But in the grand scheme of things, the overall size of bookings, that represents less than 10% of the total number of bookings in Egypt.
Tourism is a key source of scarce foreign currency for Egypt, which was on track to earn more than $13 billion this year and hit a target of 15 million visitors. But ratings firm S&P Global warned on Monday that a fall in tourism due to the conflict could cause significant problems. The impact is likely to also be felt in countries such as Lebanon and Jordan, due to travellers postponing or cancelling holidays to the Middle East and North Africa. Although Issa insisted tourists were committed to Egypt.
We're hearing from them that as people realize the geopolitics and that the Red Sea resorts are far and away from what's happening in the region, we're seeing significant escalation again to the normal levels of the reservations for the season December to February.
Egypt is offering an extra $500 of incentives per flight landing in Sharm el-Sheikh and is working closely with wholesalers, retailers and airliners. Sharm el-Sheikh is about 225 miles south of Sinai's northern Mediterranean coast, which borders the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian group Hamas carried out a surprise attack on southern Israel from Gaza on October 7th, killing 1,400 people and seizing around 240 hostages in the deadliest day in Israel's history. It triggered an Israel-Hamas war that has seen the heaviest Israeli bombardment of Gaza in 75 years of conflict. According to the Hamas-run health authorities, more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed.
Well, damaging of real estate, damaging of lives, and of course, for neighboring Egypt, damaging of the economy. But if you haven't been living under a rock, or if you haven't been living in the Yellow Submarine, and if you are a Beatles fan, then you already know this. In a groundbreaking fusion of music and technology, the Beatles have made headlines once again by releasing a new AI-powered song featuring the unmistakable original voice of the late John Lennon. This innovative creation has the world buzzing with excitement as well as curiosity about the possibilities and also the ethical concerns in the realm of AI-generated artistry. Then and now, coming up for you right here.
It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you. Always to return to me. I know it's true.
And we know it's true, it's all because of you, our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the World Business Report. This is Karthik Malhotra signing off, but stay tuned to News 9 for live news updates from the world of politics, policy, business, sports, economy and entertainment. See you again later. Bye-bye.
With all this gear, you must be wondering if